Okay, we are here to talk about how drones work in Planet Crafter. And this was something I sort of didn't appreciate enough in the beginning when I first started playing this game, but I've come to realize when I start a new game, I'm trying to get the drone station immediately because it's so important. All of these crates right here, all of these crates, all of these, almost everything I have in this base is completely supplied by drones. All of it. So if I take something out of here, if I take a cobalt, it will be replaced pretty quickly. Not too long. It'll be replaced by a drone. I don't need to worry about it. And especially when you get to the mid game, it starts to get pretty. There's a lot of micromanagement in terms of your supplies, kind of a pain, and that's why drones come into play. So let's first talk about what you need, and then we'll talk about how to sort of configure them. Okay, so here is the drone station right here. You can see they're flying around. You'll see them. I mean, they're doing their jobs constantly. I mean, we'll see one eventually. Well, we will see one because I'm going to set up a supply demand scenario. Okay, so if you open this up, well, let's actually move back. So first you have to actually build the drone station. You need an osmium rod, a fusion energy cell, a super alloy rod, and a circuit board. Those aren't too hard to get, so not anything too rare. But once you get them, I'm actually trying to get those, save those items to build my first drone station. Now, even though you build the drone station, sorry, my voice is a little bit raspy here. Oh, there you can see a drone going right there. I don't know what he's going to do, but he's going to probably it's either a supply or demand, whatever's needed. And we'll talk about supply and demand in a little bit. And you just saw another one. See, they're flying by. They're doing all kinds of things. Okay, so they're keeping my base basically supplied. So the other thing is, so once you have the drone station, it's not going to do anything. You need at least one drone. Now, I have sometimes dozens of drones and a couple drone stations, but in order to build one drone, you need a minimum of one drone. You need a rocket engine, a circuit board, and one iron. And once you build that, he'll be parked right in here. You can see I've got no drones here because they're all out working. I have quite a few on this world, quite a few of them, and they're all out working. It's pretty amazing. What are they doing? Well, we can actually look at that. I've got 27 drones, 27, and that's still not meeting the demand. It'll tell you currently 18 of them are working on supply, and 8 of them, well, now it just changed to 9, are working on demand. And it'll even tell you like where the demand inventories are and supply inventories. And that's what this is all about with drone. There's a demand inventory, there's a supply. So that's what we're going to talk about next, how to configure that. So like I said, if you build your first drone but you've tagged nothing as supply or demand, nothing's going to happen. He's just going to come in here and he's going to be parked in here. So you do have to do that. I recommend you first set the supply and then you set the demand. But you can also set the demand, however you want to do it. I'm sorry. I usually set the demand first and then the supply. I'm sorry. So what we're going to do is we're going to use iron. I've sort of disabled iron right now. So you can see right here, if you click on this, this is where it all starts. You click on this. Here is where for each container has this. And not only the container, but you will find that almost all of the supply sources, like here's a miner. If we click on that, that also has a supply demand. So we're going to talk about that. So just keep that in mind. You can set the supply and demand for almost everything in this game. There are a few things you can't. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to set this. I have this container full of iron. I'm going to actually set this as a supply, but we're not going to do that yet. Like I said, I want to first do the demand. So I want to move all that iron from there to here. Okay. Now, normally I wouldn't go from like just a regular crate to a crate. Usually, what you're doing is you're setting these from you're establishing these from the miners, the sources. So, for instance, if you're mining for alloys, certain alloys, or sulfur, or things like that, you would do it that way. But I just want to show you how it works. So we're going to first set the demand. Like I said, we're going to come here. We're going to set demand, and we're going to say iron. I'm going to say I want to get some iron going. All right. Now they might actually come here and move some iron because I think there's some iron right up there. But we're going to actually move it from here. So now we're going to immediately set this as the supply. And this is a little trick which I've started to realize. You don't even need to select iron here. You just say everything, because basically we've got a bunch of iron here. It'll just start doing it. There we go. Okay, so we're going to watch this now. We should start to see some drones come here. They should start pulling this out of here. Obviously they're very busy, but we will start to see it. I promise you. There you go. We just saw one. They're going there. See that? Oh my God, they're really coming and moving this. See that? They're doing exactly what I want them to do. And they're filling up this container. So that is going to totally fill up. Okay. And you can see they're going about their business. Look at that. This thing will be empty pretty quick. Now, not all 27 drones are going to be on here. They're going to and they sort of control how they, that's based off the, what priority. We're going to talk about priority now too, because that's very important. You have 3 priorities. Let's actually go, is this guy, he just hissed at me? Okay, that's weird. So there's 3 basic priorities. There's normal, which is pretty much what I use as the default priority. I pretty much use normal, and low. I don't usually use high, but I'll tell you a situation where you'd probably want to use all 3. But for the most part, I just flip between normal and low. Now, normal is the one I use for almost all my supplies. So I almost always set that to normal. Why would you set something to low? Here is sort of something that's important. So basically this miner right here is mining for just regular ores, titanium, iron. It's just doing regular ores. Now, why would I so here's what's kind of important to know about this. So right now all of these are full. There's nothing here to sort of put in here. So it is important to actually have a shredder that also is collecting things. I set this to low because I'll explain it to you this way. If I pull something out of here, I want them to first fill this up because this is my main supply. However, I don't want this to get full too. I want this to just keep going and creating things as the demand is needed. But if for instance, I'll show it to you. This is a little bit complicated. But what I want this to sort of be the backup. So for instance, if cobalt is full here, then they can start filling up the shredder. But why am I filling up this shredder? Because I don't want this thing to get filled with cobalt. If I don't have cobalt here, specified here, that eventually will get filled with cobalt if I'm sending other things here, such as iron, I'm sending everything. You can see here, I'm sending all the big 5, like I said. So that's this is what this prevents, is this thing getting full from one type. You don't want, what I'm saying here is you don't want to have the shredder doing 4 out of the 5, 4 out of these main 5. You want to have it doing all of them, and you want it set to low. Oh my gosh, I'm about to die, and that's great. I wasn't even paying attention. That's no big deal. This isn't a hardcore mode. Oh my gosh. Okay. So that was good. Wasn't even paying attention. So that's what I'm saying about the shredder. The shredder is useful to keep this thing humming along, but we don't want to get it clogged up with one type of item. So basically when I'm doing the shredder, I'm almost always saying collect these basic 5. Cobalt, iron, silicone, titanium, and magnesium. That way, the miner won't get full with one type, if that makes sense. Okay, now the other thing is, though, I also set this, you can do this, I set this to low. Now, why would I do that? Why would I have, that doesn't make any sense. As I'm doing a demand and setting this to low, there is a reason. Is because let's say I pull out a cobalt here, and there's no cobalt in the near miner. They can come here and actually get it. It won't be purged yet. See how that works? They can actually still come here, pull this out of here, and put it in here. Because now I actually do need it. So that's the reason I actually have 2 things here. And you will have situations where you may want a demand and supply. But again, on the shredders, I usually set it to low. Because again, these are the priority to get filled, not this. This is sort of the backup to make sure that the miners don't get clogged up with things. But that's how that works. So that's how I do it. And the other thing is you want to have this set to enabled auto, because then it will automatically clear this. Again, if you don't have this set to enabled, this thing will get clogged up. So you want your basic premise is you want to keep everything from getting clogged up. So you can do that with the shredder. So that's why the shredder is important too. So there are some things where you can't actually set a demand. You can't do that, for instance, on the algae. It's a little weird, but I can't do that on the algae. I can do it like on the miners. Like if I come here, I'm actually doing sulfur. You'll see here, I set this to everything. So even though it's only sulfur, I just set it to everything. So if there's, and by the way, I don't need to really purge sulfur in that shredder because this just does all sulfur. I'm not too worried about this getting clogged up. The ones that you are worried about getting clogged up are the ones where there's different types of things going in here. That's where you got to watch it. But if one of your miners is just doing the same type of thing, you don't really care. I don't really care about purging sulfur because that's all. I'm not worried about that getting clogged up. So again, one of the worst things I hate collecting is algae. And like I said, there are some items like food. You can't set food to automatically to a supply, right? I can't do it here, but it will do it. Just keep that in mind. So watch this. I'm going to take an algae, and we'll come back here in a little bit. That should be full. I think he might even go over there. We'll see him. We'll see if we see him go over there. We'll just watch this for a minute. There should be somebody going over there eventually. Let's see. Somebody will probably go collect an algae. And this is actually one of the things I like the best about drones. There's some things I can't stand. Like food and algae are like annoying. So that's one thing I really don't like to do. So they're eventually going to replace that. They might have like a bunch of other things to do. I think he just moved over there. Is my hydration low again? Oh my gosh. And by the way, they're automatically collecting the water. I got water on. This will get full. You can see everything's full now. So, like I said, let's eat one of these onions from here, and they will replace that. So we just took an onion, and you can see here, I'm demanding that the this be filled with onion. Squash and eggplant. Those two things are getting filled. And in fact, he just did it. Look, boom, right there. Didn't even wait. Let's see if the algae is replaced. Not yet, but they'll get around to it. I mean, that's the one thing you don't really care. I mean, they will get around to it. It might not happen right away because they're doing a lot of other things. Now, the other thing that one thing that works really well, and I'm going to do a video on the Autocrafter, but drones and Autocrafters go together real well. What I'm trying to produce here, I use a lot of pulsar quartz. They're just tied into a lot of things. So I'm actually just automatically producing these with the so basically the drones are supplying these, and this is creating them. And I'm actually having the drones then supply the space trader here. And when that gets full, it's set to automatic. I will get a bunch of money for these. I don't even have to do anything. This thing is entirely automated. The drones are taking these from the Autocrafter. They're taking this quartz, filling it up with the trade space rocket, and then it automatically launches, and I get money every time. I don't have to do a damn thing. It also, by the way, quartz are important. I mean, I don't want to like sell all of them. So I have this set to low. So if this thing is out in outer space somewhere, and I don't want this thing to just stop, so it will actually fill this up. And it just did. This is completely full now. So, and that's fine. I mean, I don't need, you could put another one here too, as many as you want. So that's how and I'm just using low here. I'm not even using medium, high, and low. But let's see how that works now. I want to show you, I think we do, yes. So I do want to actually show you how the low works. So basically this thing now is full. Well, it's not full. Let's get it full. They haven't finished what they were supposed to do yet. Let's just complete the job. And then that's the other thing. It might not happen right away because they're doing a lot of other different things. They're flying some pretty incredible distances to go get things. So sometimes they'll get around to it. It might take a little bit, but you see, look, that's now full. They did it. So just now, if you want that to be like almost instantaneous, you're going to need a lot more drones. But to me, I'm not that concerned. I mean, if you find that things aren't getting replaced at all for a while, then yeah, you need to add more drones. But for me, sometimes it's no longer than a couple minutes. Not too worried about that. So one other thing is, like I said, let's actually set this now. So let's put these guys in here, and let's set this one now to low. we could have done a high normal here, but like I said, let's just set this to, let's demand, and let's set it to low. So what this means is, what I kind of showed you up there with the autocrafter, that this thing's full now. They should start redirecting this from here because this now has a low demand. And since the main one we wanted filled up was done, they should come here eventually and hit that. I don't know how long that's going to take. They're flying around doing all kinds of things. Who knows where he's going? He's probably going off to, look at them. I mean, they're all over the place. Eventually that'll get done. Now let's go to, I've got teleporters. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to make, sort of point out. Before I sometimes get the drones, I actually build teleporters because the drones comes after. If you look here, it does actually unlock after the teleporter. So a lot of times before then, if you want to get like to super alloys really quick, I just build a teleporter. I don't even need to come here anymore. I could get rid of this teleporter, right? Because the drones are doing it. But if you come here, you can see this thing is completely full of. I've got like they're hitting all of these. I think I set up 4 or 5 miners here now, so they're hitting all of these. So I mean, I have like an endless supply now of super alloy. But I have a shredder here because guess what? These also don't just get super. I think these might actually just be doing super alloys now. I'm trying to remember now if this is a, what is this? Oh, it's a T2. No. That's true. A T2 can also get other things in there like sulfur, all these things. So that's why this guy is sitting here and he's empty now. But actually, it's gotten to the point where this now just has super alloys. Now, if it took one out of here, it's possible it could create a like iron or something, but that'll just immediately go to here. So the point I want to make is you want a shredder next to each one of wherever you're doing, like I'm doing uranium. Let's go over to uranium. I've got another one near the uranium too. There's another shredder here. So I keep shredders really close. Why? Because I don't want them flying all the way to the shredder back at the base. I want them to be able to take whatever shouldn't be here and move it to here. That's a lot easier than having to fly all the way back and do that. So that is how drones work. I hope you found this helpful, and thanks for watching.